Hey guys, it's 1:22 p.m. Kind of a weird day today. I haven't been doing a lot of trading. I pretty much focused on what we talked about. I did take a little bit of a position in TNXP. I know a few traders scalped it from the initial area where we popped at and sold it 138, 139. They got it in 128, 129. I just bought some to hold though. I've been kind of scaling in this, looking for something a little bit longer term. We talked about another IPO too. I said it's been pressing up against a resistance area and it's trying to figure out which way it wants to go. And that was RNLX. And at least it kind of pushed through there. It has to hold though. A couple days over this. I'm not going to be faked out by these one day moves. I do have a position in this one. My other IPOs, I've had a few losers that I started to liquidate them. I can't continue to hold stuff like BLCT that continues to drop and drop. But I do have IVA, Indigo Victor, Alpha, and I have PYPD from some lower levels because I do like the company. Papa, Yellow Papa, Davy, D, and that one's interesting as well. So RNLX couldn't figure out which way it wanted to go. Did it want to go below 1350 or above 1450? And now you can see it kind of spiked above. Got under there for a few minutes each day, but really hasn't. And now if we look at it on like a 10-day pattern on 20 minutes, it's trying to have a continuation move to the upside, which is good. So we want to see it kind of close above 1455 and hold that for a few days before we get sucked into this, and then we'll go from there. The other one that I did like was SLGN, and I took a position in that from get-go, 400 shares. Intraday chart on this one, the continuation move looks good on this, and fundamentals back it based on earnings. And here's our intraday chart. They seem to be buying weakness on this, but it had a nice bull pennant right off the bat and fired up to the upside. So 37, actually was low as 36. I got it in at 36.70, but 37 to it's up to 38.50 at one point. Nice continuation move there. It looks pretty strong. LRN, we continue to hold this, looking for low 60s. It had a big move on the daily 1 year, and support is around 50 or 45. But had to consolidate that move. We talked about that. Do you want to get in and then try to time it, and which appears to be the right move, but we're still well above some intermediate channel lines, and we're kind of curling to the upside. These are Hikinashi candles, so we can change those to kind of look more like a regular candle. That gives you a better indication, but the volume has been positive for sure if you look at the Hikinashi candles, so it looks good. I'm a little nervous about the market here going to some big earnings. Could be a sell the news event, but we'll see how that goes. And then the other one that I've been talking about, JFan, I got a little position in that. It kind of can't figure out which way it wants to go. And then the last one was FVAC, which I had a little position and I added to. The gentleman that's part of this interesting company that supplies a lot of the materials used in electric vehicles, and it's a specialty, a specialty metals company for rare earth metals. One of the subscribers alerted me to this company. I've been kind of watching it, hasn't really dipped my toe in it, and then yesterday I jumped in because it looked interesting, and you can see the intraday chart. Obviously, they sold into it, and then it kind of rebounded a little bit. Now we're pushing up towards the upper ends of the channel, which is nice. I believe he's on with Kramer. His name is so hard to pronounce, but he's a baller, and he's a good dude. He's I believe I put it in the text message. If not, I can send you guys a link. Just send me a text and request it. But interesting company. This is for the longer term. This is not for a scalp for me. This is going to be adding on weakness, but this guy usually is pretty spot on looking for directional changes in the market and trends that are more longer term. I mean, he was a big buyer of Tesla, I believe, way back when. So those are my basic trades that I did today. Everything else was, I don't know, kind of crazy. Meg didn't open. It's kind of a weird. This used to be a different company, like Media something, but now it's Montrose Environmental. They haven't opened yet. I don't know if they're going to open today. Sometimes these are delayed, but GMF opened, and I didn't like the price that it opened at. A little too rich for my blood. It's just making new lows too. I scalped a couple bracket trades in it. I scalped a bracket trade here and I scalped a bracket trade here. They're just 2-to-1 ratios. Market buys, big lot shares, 700, 15 cent stop, 30 cent sell. So I'll make $210. Make $210. I'm out. I can't figure out the direction of this thing yet, but we'll look for some type of a base. 51 was the high, and now you're at 38. It probably should start to flatten out, maybe around 35 or so. Something kind of more of a reasonable valuation. Interesting company, but hands off for now on me until it makes some type of a basing pattern. And that's it for now, guys. Nothing's really standing out today. I want to see how these earnings come out after the close and how the market reacts. But I think we got our hands full with a couple that I gave you. They look pretty interesting. We'll go from there. Got to keep it safe. The less trading in this environment, like right now, probably the better. There's a lot of crazy energy stocks that moved today. I think one was like MLX or something, some freaking one that went from like 6 to 15 or something. Let me see if I can find it, and we'll close on that. Recent, I forget the name of it. It was nuts though. You'll see it on the biggest gainers for the day, I'm sure. Let me see if I can find it on the movers list. It was MXC. I mean, this is just day scalping only. This is all you can do with these. And it seems like the fundamentals don't really matter. Once traders wrap their head around these things, look, it's up 240% right now. Just hanging out the VWAP here. To me, this looks like, within a couple weeks, this is like $8. But you know how that goes. Who knows? Traders do with what they want to do with these things. So, I mean, this right in here would have been a little bit of a kind of a wedge momentum. It should have popped up there and it went down. And then maybe you have a little bit of a shape change somewhere in here, where I would have maybe bought the back test and then bought it. I don't know. I wasn't even paying attention to this thing. These are really crapshoots. So we'll go from there, guys. We'll do a follow-up later maybe.